Hey guys. Okay, so welcome to day one of our Maui IPA series. And this series was born out of Meredith and I brainstorming, what did we want to give you guys? Because we don't want to leave y'all high and dry while we're in Maui, and we want to give you guys something valuable. And also, it's super fun to go to the little touristy gift shops and buy some gifts and give them away to people for doing their work. So, I mean, literally, we're getting a free trip to Maui because we did our work as a jewel. And I was thinking that if there was one thing that I could go back and start my Plexus career knowing this one thing, what would it be? And that is that the secret, which is not really a secret, to success in network marketing, to building a strong, stable team, is systems. And don't let the word system scare you. Systems are just the way you do things. It doesn't have to be super detailed and like formal and all that. I mean, you have a system for how you brush your teeth. You do. You have a certain toothpaste you buy. You have, you either pick up your toothbrush or your toothpaste first. You have a way you put the toothpaste on. You squeeze from the top or the bottom or the middle. You start on this side of your mouth or this side of your mouth. You have an amount of time that you do it, and you rinse it afterwards. Some people use a cup. Some people just put the toothbrush back in their mouth with water in it. Like, you have a system. My mom has a system that, like, this could change your life if you're not already doing this and if you will follow this. She has, if there's something she uses regularly in her house, she has one of them and then a backup. And anytime she uses the backup, or she uses one of them and doesn't have the backup anymore, then she buys another one. So we never have this weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth like we do at my house when we run out of Cheez-Its maybe, or Mountain Dews. But maybe the hubby shouldn't be drinking the Mountain Dews, so maybe he shouldn't be wailing. Anyway, systems, they're so important. And so we were thinking that sometimes you need a reminder of your systems. Sometimes you may not know the systems, but the secret to success in network marketing is learning the system, mastering the system, and then teaching the system to other people. And so there's a few key systems that we're going to talk about this week, and I promise you, if you will hone in on these systems and really listen to the daily trainings, do the activities, get other people on your team to do the activities with you, you are going to be taking really important steps towards a more stable, successful Plexus business. Today is one of my favorite topics, and it is cold messaging. And I will tell you that a lot of people are scared of cold messaging. And sometimes I still get a little nervous. It's the fear of the unknown, right? Like, cold messaging just means reaching out to somebody that hasn't reached out to you first. Because if they reach out to you first, then you're responding or replying. Cold messaging is the offensive, okay? And it can be scary to make the first move, right? But it can also be very rewarding. Think about it like this. When you are posting on Facebook, that is like your billboard, okay? So I heard a story of somebody that drove past a billboard a lot. Like, they were going to their in-laws' house, and so every time they drove past the billboard, they saw this billboard that said Mortgage Mike and showed the daily interest rates. And then they saw the interest rates and they thought, oh, I need to refinance. And they didn't, because they were driving in the car, so they didn't. But every time they saw it, they're like, oh, I need to call Mortgage Mike. Oh, I need to call Mortgage Mike. So they did refinance eventually, but they didn't refinance with Mortgage Mike because Mortgage Mike didn't call them. You know who they refinanced with? The person who called them, the cold message, okay? So you're posting on Facebook and people are familiar, but that's only one part of the equation. If you want your business to grow quickly, you want to cold message. But we're going to cold message without the cringe. That's what this little series is called. That's what this is called. And I'm going to teach you how to cold message without feeling cringy about it or making other people feel cringy. And that is, I have some notes here. That is by being authentic, direct, and solving a problem, okay? So when we're reaching out to people, we're going to be authentic, we're going to be direct, we're not going to beat around the bush or be misleading, and we're going to attempt to solve a problem. I don't want to sell to somebody that doesn't have a problem we can solve, okay? All right, so there is a 4-step formula that I learned from another diamond that I'm going to teach you. Step 1 is think of someone you know that if just one person, that if you could get them to sign up, they could post and sign up 10 people. Just think of somebody like that. Think of one person, okay? Then step 2, with that person in mind, let's figure out how the products could help them with a problem in their life, okay? If, that's when like engaging on social media comes into play. Go to their Facebook, read about what they've got going on. See if they've been complaining about any health issues. See if they talk about being tired. See if they have kids in travel soccer. See if they have kids that play sports. See what age their kids are. I mean, pretty much if they're a mom with at least one kid, they're probably tired. They're probably stressed. I can promise you, if they have middle school children, they are stressed. Okay? I'm just telling you that from like my own personal standpoint here. So look at it and see if you can find something that our products could solve a problem for them. Most likely energy, stress, mood. Sometimes people are talking about wanting to lose weight. So just kind of look at that and see what you can find. Then step 3, find a story that shows that Plexus fixes that problem that you think they have. Okay? Then you're going to send the picture and copy and paste the text of the story and say, I just saw this story and it sort of stopped me in my tracks. Can you relate at all? Or I just saw this story and I thought of you because you also have 5 children and I was thinking you might be pretty tired too. And I know kids are exhausting or something like that. I just saw this story and it sort of stopped me in my tracks. Do you relate to it at all? Or I just saw this story and I thought of you because. Do you relate to it at all? And then see what they say. If they say yes, then you can say, oh, what do you relate to the most? And then you can follow the recruiting system that Meredith is going to talk about tomorrow, because once you know their health goals, then you can follow the recruiting system. But basically, they might say, oh, the energy and weight loss for sure. Then you can send another story that fits that and say, when they say, does this sound like you too? And they say yes, and say, do you want to see what they took to get those results? Okay, so you just move right into, can you relate? And then go into the recruiting system that you'll learn tomorrow, okay? But also, what if you can't figure out anything from their social media? Then you could send a straight cold message, and I'll give you that example. So that cold message is on this little notes that I'm going to give you. I'm also going to give you this workbook that you can look through that has all this in it. So you can go back and read through it and ask me questions. But it says, I have no idea how you're doing because it's been so long, but I actually wasn't doing very well. I started taking this stuff and it helped me with blank, blank, and blank. I like to say energy, mood, cravings. Anyway, not sure if you've seen my stuff, my posts, but have you ever thought about trying it for yourself? Now, that would be the last thing to do. If you can find a story is always more powerful. Stories sell, facts tell. But if you can't figure out a story to send, if you can't find anything that you think they might relate to, if you can't figure out a health issue they have, and you can't figure out, like a life circumstance that you could say, hey, I saw this story and I thought of you because you're also a mom with an autistic kiddo. Can you relate at all? Different things like that. You're also a travel soccer mom. You're also a cheer mom. You're also a dance mom. So then you could go to the straight cold message, and it's on page 9 of the little workbook that I'm going to give y'all. Okay, here is step 4 though. And this is so fun, and I love this. Now, after you've sent that message, you're not going to sit there and wait for them to respond. You are going to send that same story to more people. You're going to think, who else could I send this story to? And just keep asking yourself, who else could I send this story to? And send it to those people. Say the same thing. Hey, I just saw this story and it sort of stopped me in my tracks. Can you relate at all? Send the story, then send that message and see if, what they say. I had one the other day. I practiced this because I always like to practice what I'm going to teach you guys. And I want to try it too, so I know how to help y'all. But I had a story about a teacher that was tired and needed some help with immune support going into flu season. And so that was so easy. Like, I sent the one message And then I just started thinking, who else is a teacher? Who else is a teacher? And I sent those stories. Okay? Now, let's say that they don't respond when you send that message. A day later, you can start the ghosting system. And the ghosting system is start with, can you see this? Haha, with the little laugh face emoji or the tongue out emoji. And then point up. And then after another day, you could say, I'm getting the idea you're not interested. Am I off base? You could say that too. Or you could just do this, can you see this? Haha. But that is the 4-step cold message system. And as long as you are authentic to yourself, you're direct, not misleading, and you're trying to solve a problem, then you're going to be able to go at it from a standpoint of service and not slimy, self-promoting sales. Okay? So that's the system. Your challenge for today is to think of one person each day this week. The note has like step 1, it has like a space to put a person each day. If you think of more people, then just add them to these lines down here. But I want you to put one person each day that if you could sign them up, that they could post and sign 10 people and put that person down, okay? Then follow the system. Write down what you think their needs would be, okay? Then step 3, find a story, okay? Then after you send that story to that person, think of other people you could send that story to. It might be 3 people one day. It might be 7 people one day. I don't know. I think I ended up sending to 5 or 6 teachers. But this is a way to help your brain come up with people to message that's easier than making a list of 100. Because if you make a list of 100, you feel like you got everybody. And then when you run out of people, you're like, I'm done. Instead, just keep asking your brain, who else do I know? Who else do I know? All right, so your challenge is do this workbook. Write down one person Monday through Friday and send a message to that person. Find a story, send that story, and then find other people that you could send that same story to, multi-purpose story. And then also help somebody on your team do this, okay? Y'all work on it together. Help each other find stories. I'm excited to see what you do. Once you do this, comment with sent 4 cold messages. Okay? How many? Don't say 4 if you didn't send 4, but comment with how many cold messages you sent. Okay. Love you guys. If you have questions, ask me in the chat, and I will try to answer them from my beach chair, drinking my iced coffee. Bye.